Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis, so welcome to be my guest today, Froggy and I. We have back, by popular demand, Deborah Costine. She's back with her puppets. These are going to be tabletop puppets. And she is an artist, a puppeteer, and a naturalist. Welcome back, Costine.
Thank you.
Deborah.
Nice to be back.
You're welcome. Now, this guy, that is a tabletop puppet, right?
Yes, and we call them tabletop puppets because unlike puppets, hand puppets that are on your hands to be operated when the puppeteer is usually behind or below, or marionettes that hang, tabletop puppets are freestanding and could be on a table, or in the case of these puppets, a tree that has numerous horizontal surfaces where the story occurs.
And this guy, just as Deborah says, froggies, when you hold them up, I know as a kid, they dangle, those legs.
Yeah.
They do. Now, he's considered a frog, not a toad, right?
Correct.
All right, now, tabletop. She's going to show you as we go along. Last time she had the turtle puppet, the thing I carried basically through the whole show. My son loved it. And, he's been watching. All right, show us these tabletop.
All right, so I developed this show when I wanted, after so many years of doing a certain type of show, I decided I was going to do something purely for the fun of it. Yeah. Not necessarily thinking in terms of where I would do it or how I'd book it or promote it, but just for the fun of it. And I based it actually on watching my daughter Molly play when she was a little girl. And children will just move objects and talk for them. And then but I did want it to be a nature story. And I'm Deborah Costine, Nature Puppets. Yeah. So I started just writing a story, and it did take, writing a story takes a while, because you think of what you want to communicate, what you'd like to include, and then gradually get it worked down to a good story, and then more revisions. So these puppets are freestanding on a tabletop surface. The tree that I built out of paper mache, it's an oak tree that is about 7 feet high.
Yep. Let me hold him up for you.
And
here you go.
Yeah, and there are various levels where the story takes place. So this is Fern, and the story is basically,
this is the girl.
This is the mom. Yeah, and it's and this is the husband or the father, Leaf. So that's Leaf and Fern and their daughter, Mossy.
Can you see? Got them all together, Paul. This looks like paper mache.
It is,
but it looks like cardboard paper. But it's the color that you painted it, right?
They're not painted. There's paint on the faces, but the brown that you see is the brown of the grocery bag paper that
you
use.
So you didn't use like newspaper.
Correct. Little areas, actually the arms, there's probably newspaper, because you take a piece of newspaper and you spread it with the thick paste that I use, thick wallpaper paste. And then you take a piece of that paper and then you twist it like this. You twist it so that then you coat it with the brown paper. So this is just twisted newspaper covered with the brown paper of grocery bag.
And then underneath, they all have that bell shape, right? So
yes.
Underneath is the weight.
Yes, it's a lead weight used actually in fishing. And the main reason is that they are on these surfaces, and like he could go over like this.
Oh yeah, her too.
And the weight, most of the weight is still in the bottom part. So they're heaviest at the bottom, so they're less likely to tip and fall. Once in a while they do, but I don't worry about that too much. And I also wanted the heads to move. Now, when I'm operating one of these puppets, it will be like this, and he will turn and talk to someone this way, or he can also turn his head this way. And the audience can see
Oh, yeah.
my fingers moving the puppet.
It's okay.
And yeah, it is. I just decided it wasn't going to matter.
No.
I wasn't going to let it matter to me. And it doesn't matter to my very young audiences either.
What is the hair made out of?
Different things. That is a type, I think it's chenille yarn. I got it in the yarn section of back when there was a fabric place in Framingham.
Yeah.
And this, I always like to ask my
is that? Yeah.
young audience if they can tell.
Oh,
this,
I know. Sea sponge?
Yes.
Ah! His hair is a sea sponge.
Yeah.
Now, you didn't paint it, right? It's just
Correct. I did not paint
How
it.
did you get it to stick? The glue, like?
I use super tacky craft glue.
Yeah.
And that's how it is stuck.
How about, we're talking with Deborah Costine. She's a puppeteer. She's a naturalist and an artist. And these are now the table. The other time they were on the hand. These are the tabletop puppets that she has designed. How many years have you been doing this?
I would say at least 20 years I've been doing this show.
Yeah.
This show. And yeah, and it's I love doing this for 3 and 4-year-old children.
Yeah.
And one reason why it really works for them is that, and now I have a 3-year-old grandson.
Yeah.
He's afraid of a lot of things, and he's afraid of bad, scary guys.
Yeah.
There's nobody bad or scary in this show.
Yeah.
But so I'll get back to the scary guy part in a minute. So the story is about Leaf and Fern and their daughter Mossy.
And this is the daughter, right?
That's not the daughter.
That's okay, that's her. Okay.
That's right.
And who's this one?
I'll get to him in just
Okay.
a second. Leaf and Fern and their daughter Mossy, and they live in an oak tree in harmony with nature. And the tree gives them everything they need to live and be happy. It gives them their fresh air to breathe.
Yeah.
It gives them their food because they eat these.
Did you make that, or did you figure
That is an acorn.
That's a real
They-
thing.
They eat the acorn, the
Yeah.
nut that's inside. And the tree also collects water in the bracket fungus that grows on the side of the tree. So everything is good and everything is fine. Oh, and everybody has a job to do
Yeah.
so that nobody in the family has to do all the work.
What do these two girls do?
This, I'll get to that. Sorry. So everything's fine until they get a visit from
This guy.
this guy, Cousin Lon,
Let me hold him up.
who is afraid of everything. And that's one of the things that works for my very young audience because he's afraid of things that they are not afraid of.
Yeah.
And they find that to be very funny when he's afraid of a basket.
Yeah. He goes crazy.
Right.
Look at the tie on this guy.
Yes, so, yeah, and see, he's afraid of everything out in the woods because he never goes into the woods because he lives in a mailbox.
Oh.
He lives in the mailbox with his wife. This is Star
Oh.
holding baby Moon, and this is their son, whose name is Sun.
Yes. That's appropriate.
Star, Sun, and Moon.
Yeah.
And they don't appear till very end of the story.
The work that was put into making this papier-mâché baby into the arms of the papier-mâché mother. How long does it take for these to dry?
I do it. I do it in parts.
Wow.
So that see, like I make that the cone shape out of folding or curling over file folder paper and taping it, and then covering it with one layer of paper mache. And when that's dry, then I add more layers.
Did you have to learn to do this, Deborah, or did you just went into it on your own?
Well, I learned when I went into it on my own.
Okay, so as you went along, you learned it. So, and the kids have no idea because, and you've never seen these characters before. These are all your creations.
Correct. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Just for the fun of it. And Leaf and Fern and Mossy, those are woodsy names. And then Cousin Lon, and I call him Cousin Lon, as an environmentalist. I think people get too obsessed with having the perfect lawn.
Oh, tell me about it. It's not us. No.
Empty spaces of one species of grass.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
I have a friend who is anal about her lawn.
Yeah.
I say, it looks fine. No.
Right. So, see, the Cousin Lon used to live in a tree. He is a twig person like these people.
Yeah.
But his tree was cut down to make room for a big, empty lawn. That's why they call him Lawn.
Is that the squirrel?
The squirrel?
Is that the squirrel? Which one is he?
The squirrel, there are 3 animals that live in the tree with the twig family. There's the squirrel lives in the tree, the frog, and Robin.
Oh.
Robin and Baby Bird. Baby Bird is permanently attached to the nest that's in the tree, which I didn't bring.
Bear in mind that Deborah makes all of these puppets. Right. This is intricate work. My God. It looks like a robin. Is it a robin?
Yes, it is.
I bet the kids get a big kick out of this.
Oh, they do.
I like it.
They do. So there's a baby bird that you don't see until someone addresses the baby bird, and then from below I push the stick up that's got a bird's head, a baby bird's head with the mouth wide open like this, and peeps up and goes peep, peep, peep. And then Robin flies around and gets worms to feed to the baby.
Now, do you have the worms?
No worms.
How would you fit that anyways in his
exactly.
mouth? Yeah,
it would become awkward and they could fall, and that's...
What color is that? You did a perfect job with that robin's color. What is that blue or black? Or I can't... Gray?
It's a gray that's got blue in it.
Yeah?
Yeah, and some white.
Oh my gosh. And this was your idea. I got to puff up the wings, so I'm going to use one of these gadgets.
Right. Well, I think probably that I would have seen somewhere.
Yeah.
When you're in puppetry and in anything, you watch for it, you look for it, you go to shows, you go to,
wherever.
You tune
Deborah,
it in.
How can they get a hold of you?
My website is Deborah Costine, that's DeborahCos as in Sam, Tine, Deborah Costine, naturepuppets.com.
Oh my gosh.
So on my website there are pictures of all the shows and descriptions, and then there's also things people have said about my shows, and one section on my artwork, because I paint and sculpt and build things.
What do you sculpt? Do you use the clay or do you use mache for all of your sculpting?
Both. I use, let's see, mostly the sculpting that I do now. I like if I sculpt a head, like I was commissioned a few years ago to make a larger than life-size puppet of Charles Bilezikian, who is he and his wife developed the Christmas tree shops.
Okay.
And his grown children, wanted a puppet for his something unique for his 70th birthday, and it was decided that it would be a larger than life-size puppet of him.
How big was this?
So the head is this big, And so there's a picture on my website of this, and it's about 7 feet tall, and so I sculpted the head and the hands, and so the hands, I can get my hands inside the puppet
Make it
hands.
go.
I
But if he's 7 feet tall, how'd you get up there?
No, I don't. I can put my hands inside, but they're operated with rods.
Okay.
At the
like
bottom.
like this.
Yes, like that.
Okay.
Excuse me. So in order to sculpt his head, I used oil-based clay, which is called Roma plastilina.
Never heard of
It's sculptor's clay.
Yeah.
Not the terracotta that would dry, but the oil-based clay is the kind that if you put it in the oven, it would melt.
Yeah.
It would just become a puddle.
Yeah.
And you can use it over and over.
But how does it harden? What do you
It doesn't harden. It never
doesn't?
hardens. So,
Huh.
what you do is, what I do, you cast from it.
Yeah.
So, what I do is I take the finished head, and I said, I need photos of him. I especially need a full front view, and then a side view, and then a view of him doing something that he's laughing about. So I wanted a laughing,
I got to check out her website. I'm picturing all this. What color was his face? Was it white?
Well, it's a natural
All
skin
natural
color.
skin color.
Right,
For
yeah.
his 70th birthday.
Yes.
He's still just a kid. Did he like it?
I think so.
Yeah. How what's not to like?
I asked them for pictures. I wanted to see a picture of his face
Yeah.
when he saw the puppet come in, because it took 3 people to work the puppet. One to hold the head up like that high,
Yeah.
and one to work this hand, and one to work this hand over here.
Which one did you do? The head?
I was not invited to the party.
What?
So, which is why I wanted somebody to take a picture of him
Yeah.
when he saw it.
All right.
And all they took pictures of was the puppet, which I already knew what that looked like.
Did they ever write you a thank you note? And say,
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
and they said he liked it, or did
Yes, yeah.
And it was 7 feet tall.
About, yeah.
What did you do for the
6
body?
and a half.
More.
So the body was just cloth.
Oh,
So that it has to stand on a pole.
yeah.
That I actually, the umbrellas,
Yes.
deck umbrellas, they've got this heavy cast iron stand.
Yep.
So you picture a pole
Yeah.
in that,
Yeah.
so that's that holds it up. Not for performing with, but for just looking at after the fact. And then the puppet is up there, and then the hands then just kind of
They just
hang.
kind of-
Unless you pick up the rod and move it.
Did you have to put a hobby in one of his hands that he likes, or?
No,
just
no, but what they said, that he's very jolly, they said, and he loved, he was kind of like Bacchus,
Yeah.
with the grapes and fruit. So I went and bought, all these plastic oranges and grapes and peaches, and made a wreath
Yeah.
on his head.
Almost like a Greek.
Yes, yeah.
And I bet he loved it. I wonder how many years ago was this?
10 maybe?
That was quite a job order. How long did it take you to make that?
Well, now that is a very good question. I get calls to do strange projects like that
Yeah.
that I haven't ever done before. So it's really hard to estimate how long it's going to take. And it took way longer than I thought.
Yeah.
And at first, most people they're used to cheap prices, like
Yeah,
you buy a doll from China, it's only going to cost $10. And so when I first got the call, I thought, well, they want something, but they don't. So after I heard about it, the details, I gave my best estimate for a small puppet, which was maybe $300.
Sure.
And then the more we talked, I got a sense that it was bigger, and I said, well, that's going to run more.
Of course.
But finally, what happened was, I had to work on it for another whole week, so that it was finished to my satisfaction, knowing that I wasn't being paid for any of that because...
Why? You kept it for the small puppet price?
No.
How the heck did you... What happened?
Well, we agreed finally on the price for the big puppet, but, it just took longer than I would have thought. And I wasn't going to hand it off.
I know.
Not finished.
And all the hours that went into it. I think people don't realize if this is custom handmade, you're also paying your creator, your artist, for the hours, the sweat equity time they're putting into it.
Yeah.
It's not just the material. I know I design, journals like diaries,
yeah.
the tops and the backs, and I couldn't possibly charge for all the times I'm monkeying with it and this and that. I try to keep it as level. In fact, my first customer paid me, oh my God, more than I had asked. She said, well, I believe in paying people what is. I'm like, thank you. So I began to realize if she sees it as that, she can't be the only one. Mm-hmm. Now, here's a Froggy. Now, when did you make this guy?
So these were all made, I'm guessing, like I said, this show I think was at least 20 years ago.
20 years? He doesn't look 20 years old.
Right. Well, they stay in their box. And they have broken. I'm sure I've mended his right leg or left front leg, Do
the kids want to touch them?
Yes, they do. In fact, one of my favorite little stories, comments was, it's happened more than once. After the show, a child would say, so, are we supposed to play with that now?
And you went, oh my God, they'll break. What do you say?
I say, no, I'm sorry. You can look, but you can't touch.
Oh.
But, are we supposed to play with it now?
I bet is it a grandson or granddaughter?
A grandson.
I'll bet he's seen these, hasn't he? I'll betcha. Have you brought them out yet?
He's probably seen them, but it
hasn't sunk in yet.
Right? No, it was a year ago. The last time he was at my house.
Yeah.
So, and he was only 2, and I probably didn't even bring him out then.
Yeah. Just wait.
Yeah. But my nephew, my grandnephew, who is now 13.
Yeah.
When he was, I would say maybe 7 or 8, he was visiting at my house, and he'd seen the show, and he's seen it, and seen the puppets, and I let him play with it all he wanted because I knew he would be careful.
This is Deborah Costine, and she's back again with us. And you may remember last time she had a big turtle puppet, and you had the who was that guy? The beaver.
The beaver.
And then there was one other.
The blue-spotted salamander.
The salamander. And those were the big kind. Today we're talking about the tabletop. You didn't tell me. She's got tabletop puppets. Are there more at home of these?
No, these are these are all the puppets for one particular story.
Where have you been appearing?
Oh, lots and lots and lots of places.
That's good.
Right, yeah. I've been doing, for example, Puppet Show Place Theater in Brookline. I've presented things there many, many times. I will be there doing Woodland Cinderella in April.
Good.
A week ago, I was in New Preston, Connecticut, doing Woodland Cinderella. And tomorrow, I'll be doing that show in Framingham. But I've been at the World Trade Center before it came down, and I've been at the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston with the Turtle Show, and the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum.
How about the Worcester Art Museum?
No.
Gotta get you in up there.
Yeah.
That's a biggie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you would like it. Again, how can they reach you if they'd like to have you come on board? Even do you do parties, birthday parties?
I do a lot of birthday parties. Most times people have an expectation of what they think it's going to cost for me to come, and it's usually more than what they want to pay. It's
travel time and gas.
Right. Yeah, and it's my job. It's my only income. So,
it's your only thing.
they can't say $300, $350 for a puppet show. if I, that's $300, and it's not $350 an hour.
No, no, it's for the whole. How long do you usually put a show on for, Deborah? About a half a day, or what do you do?
Well, the shows are 45 minutes.
That's
long.
a good time.
Yeah, and I always arrive an hour and 15 minutes ahead of time, just to be sure that I have the time I need to get everything in exactly the right place.
Do you have to bring your own props, like tables and stuff?
Everything I need, I bring, because you can't ever assume that
They're
place
going
is
to
going to have. So
Yeah.
my sound system, I have a small one and a large sound system, and I bring my lighting, and I bring a little table that I collapse to have behind me to put things on, like my water and the receiver for my my sound system.
Okay.
So, and then it takes, half an hour, 45 minutes to break everything down. And then usually just to go to a show, it's usually at least an hour drive.
Yeah, you'll go anywhere, right? You'll go all over the lot.
Yeah.
Believe me, you're being seen. Once you're on YouTube, you're everywhere. We've got about 4 minutes. Who is this guy?
This is Gray Squirrel, and he lives in the tree with the Twig family.
Yeah?
And he's just kind of a pesky squirrel, like I find them to be in real life. And he does this little funny shtick with Mossy. Mossy's job in the family is to collect acorns for lunch. So she starts putting acorns in the basket.
Let me see. Okay.
And then he takes them out and hides them.
Now, how did you get his nose? How does he take that out, or you take it out for him?
I take it out.
All right.
Yeah.
What is this? Where'd you get that lovely fur?
It's fake fur from a fabric store.
Now, without that, he could be a rat with a tail.
Yeah, I would make the nose, the snout a little more pointed.
Oh, he's
But,
so sorry.
yeah.
I bet the kids want to touch this.
Yeah, I let them touch the fur.
Oh, my God. Are you going to make any more characters, or are you all set?
For now, I don't, it's like I've said, I think last time, I've been doing this now for 45 years.
Oh, my God.
I have made hundreds of puppets. I'm just interested in
Having
some
fun
other
with it.
things right now. I'm painting
Yeah.
and sculpting, and I'm interested in historic preservation and the environment and leading nature walks, and so I'm interested in so many other things right now.
Are you writing a book?
No, not yet. But
Yeah.
family history I think is important. Yeah.
All righty. Well, Deborah Costine back with us again. Last time it was the big handheld puppets. These are the tabletop puppets. Are there any more surprises on puppets? Oh my God.
No, but I was tempted to bring one of my handmade tables. Maybe another time.
Oh yeah, we'll have you back. I could get the whole menagerie on here. Hi, Wally. My son, he's going to be watching. He's got this turtle. It's a girl turtle. He thought it was a boy turtle, and it's been growing. And he can tell when she's got eggs. She starts getting almost like what is that?
Temperamental?
How do you say this? Not menopausal. PMS.
Yeah.
And he could tell something was odd.
Uh-huh.
And he found out she's a girl. But he's keeping the same name. Bowser. Not Bowserette. Bowser. That's his title.
Good for him.
Now, Deborah, one last time, how can they reach you if they'd like to have you come and do these parties for kids? Go ahead.
Deborah Costine, naturepuppets.com.
And you are available any day of the week?
Right. Generally, yep.
That is
it's
great.
my job, so
And you will travel all over New England?
yeah, I try to stay within a 2-hour radius.
That's very fair.
Right.
It's like going down to maybe Northampton from here.
Yeah, that's like an hour and a half. Yeah, we'll be on there.
Do you go to the New Hampshire border, Nashua, that type of
Yeah.
thing? Okay.
Yeah,
Probably-
North Shore.
Rhode Island is close.
Yeah,
Providence
I
is-
do all of Rhode Island.
That's good. Yeah.
Southern Maine.
You'll go to Maine.
Yeah.
Ah, this girl will travel. That's up there. Is that a couple hours?
Yeah, to like Biddeford, South Portland.
This is
2
funny. I was
hours.
born in South Portland, and my father was the founder and announcer on WIDE in Biddeford. This is.
And I just said Biddeford, South Portland.
I know both of them. She's psychic. All right, you. We're going to have her back. Don't worry about that. And thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
She's
It was
a lot of fun. We'll see you next time and be my guest.
Riding on a shooting star, heading out toward a dream. Tomorrow's even closer than it seems. Moving through the cloud